Welcome back to our primary election day coverage, and we have some breaking news to report at this hour. CBS News calling Charlie Crist the winner of the Democratic gubernatorial nomination. Let's take a look at the numbers right now. Charlie Crist with 60% of the vote. 35% of the vote to Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried. Let's check in with Lauren and Jim DeFede. And guys, any big surprise here?
Yeah, Elliot, this all, of course, confirmed by that red check mark. That means that this has officially been called for Charlie Crist. You could see all this green on the map. Almost every county, with the exception of Alachua County, has gone for Crist so far. We're waiting for the tallies from the Panhandle counties. Jim, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, this race probably could have been called 20 minutes ago, but out of courtesy, AP and CBS won't call it until all the polls are closed. So now that we're waiting on these numbers, but there simply aren't enough votes for Nikki Fried to make up that difference. So yeah, this now becomes an amazing race as we look forward to November. Charlie Crist trying once again to return to the governor's mansion against Ron DeSantis. Charlie Crist basically spent $6.5 million or so on TV ads to win this race. Ron DeSantis has $130 million. So this is going to be a race where, to be honest with you, money is going to be a factor, but everyone knows who Charlie Crist is. Everyone knows who Ron DeSantis is. It's a contrast between two types of politicians, and that's what we're going to see between now and November, less than 80 days away.
All right, Jim, we're still waiting on some of these votes to be counted, but we're right now looking at total votes of 1,295,000. Oh, it already just jumped to 1.3 million. Are you surprised by that turnout, or was that to be expected here?
I think we're going to land somewhere around 1.45, 1.5 maybe at the highest. Nikki Fried needed a huge early or day of vote. Like, she needed those numbers to probably get up around 1.7, 1.8. That wasn't happening. Charlie Crist winning throughout the state. I'm just sort of curious. Let's play with the heat button just for fun.
Yeah, you could see basically by how much he won each county. So the darker green means he had a significant lead. The lighter green means not as much. Even the area where she won, Alachua County, it's very light, if anything, yellow. So she didn't even win it by much.
Yeah. So this tells you Crist did well across the state. You can get out of the heat, but basically he's going to have to do well in all of these areas that are traditionally good for Republicans. His argument is, if I can win Democratic votes here and begin to travel these counties to try to chip away at Ron DeSantis. Look, there is nobody under an illusion that this is anything other than a long shot for Charlie Crist to try to unseat Ron DeSantis, given the financial resources, given the feeling and the mood in the state of Florida right now, the off-year election. So it's a tough race. It's sort of one of those things, but let Charlie Crist celebrate tonight, and tomorrow he gets to run into the buzzsaw that is Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, but Crist has said in the past that he didn't leave the Republican Party left him. So maybe there are some people who feel the same way, who feel like it's not the same Republican Party from years ago, and they may, even though they are still registered as Republicans, turn and support him, because Florida is a closed primary state, so he couldn't rely on any Republicans or independents to vote for him in this primary.
Let me make this point. This race, the governor's race and the Senate race, Val Demings versus Marco Rubio, those races, what happens in those races will decide whether or not the National Democratic Party writes off Florida.